On Saturday, the Cleveland Browns will finish up their 2024 season, a season many consider to be very disappointing. While some questions are going to start to circulate regarding the future roster, there's also some uncertainty on when it comes to the future home of the Cleveland Browns. We've been following this storyline here at 5 regarding the push to move the Browns out of the city and to a new complex in Brookpark. In fact, just yesterday, we reported here on the City of Cleveland's plan to block the move, citing the Modell Law. So joining us this new year to explain what this law entails is attorney Brian Kopp. Brian, in general, what is the law aiming to do, and why did this law even come about in the first place?
Well, those of us old enough to remember when the Browns moved, the state reacted at the state legislature level and tried to pass a law that would prevent teams from leaving the state if they received some government funding. I don't think anyone anticipated the Modell Law being used like this, but interesting turn of events now that the Browns want to move the stadium from downtown to a little bit outside the city proper.
Got it. In your opinion, does the city have any leg to stand on when it comes to invoking Modell Law in this case?
You know, if you followed it like we have, you saw that the Browns filed a federal lawsuit to say that the statute's not a valid form of law to stop this type of action. And I think the Browns are on the right side of this. They are not leaving the state. They're staying in the Cleveland area. I really believe it's a threat to the ownership in the sense that this law says if you want to move the team, you have to offer people in the area, which is a big term in this law and in the lawsuit, the chance to bring new ownership in. So the threat to ownership is, I think, the only bargaining chip that the city really has here.
With the city looking to invoke this law, do you think it's maybe also a financial maneuver or more of like a loyalty to the team to remain in the city? Or would you say maybe it's equal on both fronts?
You know, you can argue that there's some benefits to having a stadium that's maybe outside of the congestion at downtown. If you look what happened in Los Angeles and you look at what a dome stadium can mean to more than just 8 to 10 football events a year and a few summer concerts, it becomes a year-round revenue generator for ownership and the area. So there's a lot of dollars at stake. But when it comes to the city, what I don't know and what might be interesting to look at is whether or not the city loses some of the tax revenue just by location. So, you know, people don't understand this, but when a player plays an NFL game, they pay the city income tax because they earn their game check in that city. So there's a lot of things that affect stadium location that us as regular fans don't really pay attention to.
The Haslams have said that if they can move the team to Brookpark, they're going to create a $2.4 billion domed stadium and entertainment complex, as you just referred to, and that would maybe split the cost up with the city and the county in the public-private partnership. Wondering if you know if that's been done successfully in any other professional sports teams across the country, though.
Well, there's always a deal with the local government because of the participation in state funding. But if you look at like the recent stadium in LA and in the Forbes valuation, the owners of the Rams have a $2 billion greater value than the owner of the Chargers, even though the franchises are in the same city, play in the same stadium. And that's because the ownership group of the Rams owns the venue. So they get all the revenue from concerts like Taylor Swift, if any other sports team uses the facility. So there's a great value to ownership too. There is a real motivation to own not only the team, the franchise, but all the revenue that comes with stadium ownership.
Oh, interesting. We'll have to go read about that and how all that panned out on the West Coast, but we're also following this case closely. Thank you so much for helping us. And again, thank you for being here on New Year's Day.
Thank you. Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.